Alright, so the first video I did about APB crashing on the load screen was done on this rig right here. It's an Intel i5-2400. The core is from 2012 if my memory serves correctly. It's clocked at 3.1 gigahertz or 3.10 gigahertz, give or take. That's what this thing says. 4 gigs of RAM, Windows 7 64-bit, and it's GTX 950. And then my secondary rig right here, which actually has a core from 2006 in it, actually. So give me a second, let me pull out the old system spec sheet on this rig. Okay! Intel Core 2 Quad CPU, clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, 6 gigs of RAM, Windows 7 64-bit, and a 750 Ti, which is, well, under here, but of course they don't want to open it. Never want to open it. There we go. And as you can tell, my 750 Ti. Both the 750 Ti and the 950 have 2 gigs of VRAM on board. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically do what I just did originally on that rig. I'm going to let this one sit for 15 minutes or so on the load screen, log in, and see what happens. Which is what's really funny though, that someone said I should stop playing this game on a GPU from 2006. When in reality I've been playing this game with a CPU from 2012, which is 6 years old. And speaking of old CPUs, I actually have two right here. I have one from 06 and I have one from... I have a dual core from 06 and a quad core from 05. This one's from 06. This one's from 05. This is my very first 4-core CPU. And it still works. And I can easily swap this CPU with the CPU that's in this rig right now, and it'll still fully work. So I just blabbed for 2.5 minutes going on 3. I'm going to come back when the 15 minutes are up and see what happens. Oh yeah, and I forgot to add one more thing. I'm also going to do it on my MacBook. This is from 2009. It's their 13-inch unibody MacBook. And I'm going to boot camp this thing into Windows 7, and I'm going to do the same process all over again. Now that video will be uploaded about maybe about 6 hours after this one gets uploaded, because I have to reinstall Windows 7 onto this MacBook. Luckily, doing that is incredibly easy and really fun for me. So again, I'll come back when the 15 minutes are up. Alright, so 15 minutes are up. Before I log in, let's see how much RAM APP is taking up. If you remember from my last video, it took up around a little under 1.5 gigs. And as you can tell, it's taking up again about around the same amount of RAM as last time. Physical memory being used is 52. This computer, like I said, has 6 gigs of RAM compared to the 4 on my main rig. And let's see what happens when I try to log in. It crashed. Again, it says, out of memory, when it's clearly not. So yeah, it doesn't matter if I have 6 gigs of RAM or 4 gigs or 6 gigs or whatever. The game will still crash. But for the sake of being fair, I'm gonna now go on my laptop, my MacBook, and install Windows 7 and do the exact same procedure all over again. Just to prove you guys wrong, because you all are freaking cancer idiots anyways.